What if I told you the most important event in AI will not be GPT-6, it will not be AGI, and it will not be the next breakthrough model. It might be something much simpler, an IPO. Because the day OpenAI goes public, for the first time, the market will stop buying the story and start buying the numbers. And those are two very different things. Today, we are looking at a controversial idea spreading through parts of Wall Street. Could an OpenAI IPO become the ultimate stress test for the entire AI boom? Let's dive in. Welcome to Alpha, where we decode the future before it happens. Right now, AI is not just a technology story, it is a money story. Think about the flow. Investors pour billions into AI startups. AI startups buy compute providers buy GPUs, GPU makers order more chips, chip makers build more factories, investors see growth, they invest even more, and the cycle continues. Everyone gets paid, everyone valuation goes up, everyone looks like a genius, as long as the wheel keeps spinning, and sitting near the center of that wheel is OpenAI, not because it is the biggest company, but because it has become the face of the entire AI revolution. Private markets are incredibly forgiving. Public markets are not. When you are private, investors buy a vision. When you are public, investors buy cash flow. Every quarter, every report, every expense, every loss, everything becomes visible. And that is where things get interesting. Because for years, AI companies have been valued based on what they might become, not what they currently earn. The moment OpenAI files for an IPO, the conversation changes. The market stops asking, can they change the world? And starts asking, can they make money? Here's the uncomfortable question. Who is actually paying for AI? Not using AI, paying for it. Because training frontier models is expensive. Running frontier models is expensive. Building global data centers is expensive. Everything about AI is expensive. And so far, investors have been willing to absorb those costs. Because they believe future profits will justify today's spending. That is not unusual. Every technological revolution works this way. Railroads, telecom, the internet, cloud computing. The difference is that eventually the future has to arrive. And when it does, the numbers need to make sense. Now let's explore the bear case. Not a prediction, just a scenario. Suppose OpenAI goes public. Suppose investors decide the valuation is too high. Suppose growth slows, margins disappoint, losses remain enormous. What happens next? Well, OpenAI is not just another startup. It is one of the most important demand engines in the AI ecosystem. If investors lose confidence in OpenAI, they may begin questioning the economics of the entire stack. Applications, cloud infrastructure, data centers, GPU demand, everything. Suddenly, a market that was pricing perfection has to start pricing risk. And that is where bubbles usually get into trouble. Some analysts have started comparing AI to housing before 2008. Personally, I think that comparison goes too far. The AI industry has real technology, real products, real users, real revenue. Unlike subprime mortgages, there is genuine value being created here. But there is one similarity. Every boom eventually faces a moment of truth, a moment when expectations collide with reality. For housing, that moment came in 2008. For AI, many investors believe that moment could arrive when public markets finally put a price tag on OpenAI. So forget the headlines, forget the hype, forget the AGI predictions. The real questions are surprisingly simple. Can AI applications generate sustainable profits? Can enterprises justify the spending? Can AI create enough value to support the infrastructure being built today? Those are the questions that matter, not benchmark scores, not product launches, not social media excitement, cash flow, demand, profitability. Those are the metrics that survive every cycle. So, could an OpenAI IPO trigger a financial crisis? Probably not. Could it expose weaknesses in the AI business model? Possibly. Could it become the most important financial event in the history of artificial intelligence? Absolutely. Because when the world's most famous AI company finally faces public market scrutiny, we may discover something investors have been trying to answer for years. How much of the AI boom is reality, and how much is belief? If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to Alpha. Because the future is not something that happens, it is something you can see coming. I will see you in the next one.